They started as a pop-up.
Yeah.
Instagram was just becoming a thing at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was like you could see kind of what they were posting. We're like, oh, this sounds really cool. This sounds like a really cool dish. That looks cool. You didn't have to like wait and get a cookbook to see what the restaurant was doing.
Gotcha.
You could see it on the internet in real time.
Look at it.
But prior to that, you're like, oh, what's 11 Madison Park doing? I don't know. We have to get the cookbook.
4 years from now.
Yeah. What are they doing in the French Laundry? I don't know. We got to get the cookbook.
Yeah.
Go to the bookstore and look.
Yeah.
Like you can't, otherwise you can't like go on your phone and see what they made yesterday. And so it was a different time in that sense. And I was just like, it was almost this like mystique of a restaurant.
Yeah.
People were talking about it. They had just gotten their first star, which made them kind of legitimate.
Yeah.
In the sense that, okay, people are taking them seriously.
Exactly.
They're not just a bunch of guys listening to music that started as a pop-up, having fun, dinner party kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. It was a dinner party.
Pop-ups weren't respected.
No.
At that time.
It was a dinner party, and they were having a party every night, but they were doing it really well. And so I had met them. I met the chef, the owner, David, at the market, because I was going to the market regularly.
Gotcha, yeah. That's a big community, that Marin market.
Uh-huh. And David had thought I was the chef at Quince just because I was the one that was always at the market. And he knew I was with Quince, but he didn't know what I did there or who I was. He just thought, the chef goes to the market. I was just a sous chef at the time. But he was like, hey, I'm looking for a new executive sous. Would you be interested? Is that something you want to do? And I was terrified of leaving. I didn't want to switch jobs, like, comfortability, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
But he convinced me to come stash and spend a day there. And I did. And that kind of like then it was the affirmation that, okay, this is the right change to make.
Yeah.
Because it was everything we were doing at Quince without the fear.
Understood.
Or the anxiety. I mean, it was anxiety, but it wasn't that like gut-wrenching, I can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
But they were cooking at a high level. They were pushing. They had standards. Everything like that we were doing at Quince, they were doing Lazybear. It just had a different set of clothes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, like this sounds really cool. Let's do it. Which that is probably my favorite place I've ever worked. Just in terms of like what the experience we were able to create.
Yeah.
The systems we had in place. And it was a very much like we were learning every day, getting better.
Yeah.
We were doing something that hadn't been done before. We were doing a dinner party. So we had 40 guests sitting all at once, 2 big tables of 20, everybody sitting side by side, and everyone eating at once. And so you're doing a fine dining dinner party. You're plating everything at once. It's almost like banquet style.
Yeah.
But you're trying to do high-end cuisine food.
Yeah.
And so we had to figure out systems for dietary, systems for tracking guests, systems for substitution, systems for like alternate menus.
Yeah.
Everyone, even if you're allergic to milk, you still get an awesome meal.
Yeah.
Just with subs, it's not like you don't get the course if there's milk in it. Or dairy. And so we put just as much thought and effort into the vegetarian version, the vegan version, the dairy-free version of all these dishes. And so one, it pushed creativity. It pushed your ability to think outside of the box. But also then I saw like it wasn't the end of the world if something got screwed up. Like you still had tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like something I learned there very quickly was like you make a mistake. It's okay. Like, still pick your head up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you messed up. Whatever. Let's not do that again.
You're not a piece of shit.
Yeah. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on. Let's just, come on. Don't dwell on that. Like, whatever. Like, don't do it. Next time will be better. We have another chance tomorrow. We have another chance later tonight.
Yep.
Like, don't screw it up again. And so, like, that whole kind of like shifted then my approach to leading a team, to cooking, to motivating people. That it didn't have to be this like intense, end all be all environment. And so I think that shift was kind of like a huge thing to see and be a part of.
Yeah.
And now that is very much more common in all of the whole industry.
Yeah,
but at
for
the time, they were very progressive.
Yeah.
No
and it was looked
that.
Upon as like, look at those soft guys over there. Yeah, I know exactly. I had just moved here, a couple of years after I moved here was when all that was going on. And it was like, who are these guys doing the pop-up? Who do they think they are?
Who do they think they are?
I mean, look where they're at now. That's who the fuck they think they are.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, so, it was the first year after I was there, we got our second star.
Yeah.
And we had 2 stars now, and that's when everyone like stopped.
Yeah.
And was like,
yeah,
whoa,
right.
Okay, these guys know who they are. These guys are doing it.
Yeah.
And who are we to talk shit anymore? Because
exactly.
They just got 2 stars from the highest, rating system in our industry in terms of what people are looking at for, affirmation.
Exactly. And doing it like no other. I mean, banquet service, fine dining food.
It's crazy. It's the weirdest concept. Like if you try to say that out loud or write it on paper.
Exactly. It's like,
and you're like, I need $2 million and we're going to do banquet style. Yeah. Everyone's going to get the food at once, but it's going to be really,
it's going to be real good. I promise you. Yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Dave. That's a sick ass place.
Really awesome.
So how long were you there? Sorry?
I was there 2 years.
2 years. And then when did you decide, like, I gotta go?
So I didn't really even decide I had to go.
Okay.
I would have stayed there.
Okay.
I loved it there. I was happy there.
Yeah.
Things were great. Life was good. I was finally making money to live off of.
Yeah, yeah.
To the point where
that's a good feeling.
Comfortable. And things are good. And one night, because it's an open kitchen, the way it works is each chef that's responsible for course gets up and talks about it in front of everyone.
Gotcha.
And describes it to the diner, tells them what the dish is all about, the philosophy,
that's
the
great
ingredients. Training. And I did that multiple times a night because I really like talking to people. Yeah. And I had my hand in a lot of different parts of the menu. And a lot of the new cooks weren't comfortable.
Yeah.
People who get into cooking aren't necessarily ones that want to be on display.
No.
Shout to an entire room of people.
But when you first get in and you're like, I'm in the back, no one talks to me.
Right.
But
so that was part of it. And so I would take on that role. And one of the nights, 2 of the people sitting in the front row were casting producers for Top Chef.
Oh, shit.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
And the day after they had dinner, they emailed the restaurant. We're like, hey, we want to talk to Joe. Would he ever consider coming on Top Chef? And so they called me and I was like, no.
Yeah, because at that point, again, it was like Top Chef. Who the fuck goes on top?
Who the fuck goes on Top Chef? I had never seen it.
I mean, I'm guilty of that too.
I was like, Bravo. Must just be like the
Housewives. It's like, that's not Food Network.
That's not cooking. That's just a silly show. Bunch of people living in a house, like real world.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's what I thought. And so they called me again. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm cooking really good food here. Like, I'm happy. I don't need to do that. It looked really bad.
Yeah.
I thought it would look bad.
Yeah.
I thought all my peers would look down.
You don't want to look like Marcel. You got the shit end of the stick on that one.
She did. And so I said no like 3 times. And then finally it was my girlfriend, my partner, Bella, who was like, why don't you hear them out? Like, maybe this could be good.
It could be good, yeah.
It could be good. They keep asking, why don't you do it? Like, so I got on a plane, went down to LA, did like a round of interviews with the executive producers.
Yeah.
And next thing I knew, they're like, okay, you're booked. You're going to Denver in May.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay, I need to figure out my life. What I'm going to do. A friend of mine was opening a restaurant in LA that was like a year out.
Okay.
So he was like, why don't you move to LA? You go do Top Chef and then start cooking for me. And I was like, okay, perfect. Everything was kind of falling into place.
Yeah.
And I'm a very much firm believer in like everything happens for a reason. Cosmic universe, it all is happening. Everything is lining up. Cosmic alignment. I was able to put in my, like a good notice at Lazybear, leave on really good terms.
Oh, that's great.
Went down to LA. The 2 of us moved to LA, Bella and I. We were in LA for 5 days, and then I had to get on a plane and leave for Top Chef.
Heard that.
So leaving her alone in a city.
In a new town,
New town. We ended up adopting Uni, the cat that was just running around. That
Very
was
nice
like
cat.
her
Very nice.
Support animal because I was leaving.
Heard that.
And I went and did Top Chef. And I couldn't have been more wrong about my opinions of the show, the competition, the caliber of chefs on it.
The people,
The people.
You had a really good cast, too.
I had a really good cast, really
Great
talented
cast.
people,
Yeah.
really great people. And I had never seen the show before, so I don't want to say we changed it. We were the first ones that were kind to one another. But I know the producers were not happy with the level of camaraderie that we had. To the point where, like, we were checking out in Whole Foods and buying ingredients, and someone didn't have enough money to get all their ingredients.
You just buy their shit.
And we would just buy their stuff. And the producer would be like, what are you doing? They could, like, not have their chicken they need.
Yeah,
and we're like, why would we want them to not have their chicken?
Yeah, that's a motherfucking, it's a competition, right?
Like,
shouldn't they have their shit too?
They need to have their stuff.
That's some cutthroat shit right there,
and so,
bro.
like, maybe up until that point, like, that was not something they ever saw or dealt with.
Yeah.
But we were very much, like, helping each other out the whole time.
Yeah.
Some of it made it onto camera, some of it didn't. Because I didn't know how much they probably wanted to show.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, you're packing up everything. Sometimes you're done 10 minutes early, so you go help someone else.
Yeah.
And they were like, what, you sure you want to do that? I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, I have time.
So you're telling me that you just had a series of interviews, like no bench test. Like
Nothing.
They just sat you down and talked to you.
It was, everyone that I've talked to now that I know and I'm kind of like in the inner circle of the club has a very different experience getting on the show.
Got you.
So let's put that out there because I get asked relatively often, hey, how do I get on Top Chef? Because now people want to get on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
They see the being
you
chef.
can apply,
you can
right?
Apply.
You can, yeah.
And I know, like, without saying names or who did what, some people applied 5 years, every single year. Some people filled out, did, like, handheld camera, talking to the camera, trying to get the producer made, like, a audition tape. Some people got flown out and had to do on-screen camera tests, talking and cooking through recipes. Some people had to do multiple interviews through the whole range.
Heard that.
And so I didn't. And so that was just my experience, but I know everyone is very, has a different thing. And I think it just has to do with, it's, at the end of the day, it's still a show.
Yeah.
People still need to remember there are millions of dollars of marketing value behind this brand, behind this show.
Yeah.
And as much of a competition reality show, non-scripted, it's still somewhat produced.
Yeah, for sure.
So they know what they want. They know what they need. They know what's going to make a good show. Mm-hmm. And so they pull the strings as to who they want there and who they're getting there. And it's not as just like, oh, anyone has the opportunity to do this. It's a show. They need it to be entertaining.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why everybody has a different experience getting on it. They need to make sure they're getting out of each person what they want for that season.
Heard that. And do you know the challenges before you go there?
You know nothing.
You know nothing. You just show
And
up.
I'd never seen the show.
Yeah.
So some people I found out had watched every episode.
Yeah,
again,
so they know kind of like
up to it.
Were they like fanboy, like
fanning out
for fucking
yeah.
Tom and shit?
Like, oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what,
da-da-da.
that part when you guys do the quick fire, whenever Tom comes up to you and says, "Hey, so what are you doing?" He always looks so upset.
It is. I'm glad you see that.
Yeah.
He like peers into your soul.
Yeah, he really does.
And he makes you question, no matter how confident you are in your food and your dish and what you're doing, he finds a way to make you feel uncomfortable.
I fucking knew it, dude. I was watching that shit and I'm
that
like,
is his,
look at his ability.
Best thing. Like, he's so good at that. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
No matter what, it can be something you've made 100,000 times. You've gotten accolades for, like, like, he'll come over and be like, you sure you want to be breathing oxygen right now? Like, you're using water. Is that safe?
Yeah. Is
it safe? It's not safe.
Do I like water?
Do I like water? Is that okay? Should I be breathing right now?
Padma, are you okay?
And, he's so good at that.
Yeah.
So good at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a wild ride. As much of a cooking competition it is, it's a mental competition.
For sure.
And people don't realize that, we're all good cooks. We're chefs. We're there.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, we could all cook really good food.
Long hours.
But what you don't realize is that you lose control of your life for those 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. You have no idea what time you're waking up, what time you're going to sleep, where you're going, where your next direction is, what's behind the door.
So you're all tired as fuck.
It's when you're going to get to eat, when your next break is. Like, you know nothing up until the second it happens. And so that, when you're a chef, that you try to control every aspect of your life, the day, the restaurant, the menu. Like, chefs are very hands-on, very controlling kind of personalities. And here we all are with zero control over anything. Like, you don't even know if, like, you have time to go to the restroom. You have to ask. You can't just go.
Okay.
And it needs to, like, fit the production schedule.
And then sometimes they'll be like, no.
Sometimes they're like, no, we just need to get this shot. and then you could go. Or like, so you don't even, like, you have zero
Heard that.
control
Zero
over your
control.
life.
Yeah, that's